Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to go ahead and show y'all how to get this golden shimmered daytime smoky look. Today I use the CoverGirl True Naked's Goldens palette. This is a palette that is pretty affordable that you can get at any drugstore or a Target, Walmart, places like that. But this is a look that I used a lot this summer. I used it for a shimmery smoky evening look. I'd go a little bit lighter on the dark brown color that I used in the outer corner. I'd go a little bit lighter on it if I decided to use this look in the day. So it's something you can definitely transition from day to night. If you ended up using a black gel or kohl liner, you could really smoke it out and make it a beautiful evening look. So if you want to see how I got this look, please keep watching. Okay, so to start off today, we're going to be using the same Garnier Skin Active Moisture Rescue Gel Cream. We're going to put a little bit on our face. Okay, so next we're going to start off with our eyebrows like we normally do. And I'm going to be using the same thing that I always use, which is the Morphe 350 palette. And all I do is I go, let me see, ooh, how do I do this? I go into the Morphe palette and I go 4 down, 3 over, and I just use this. All it is a matte dark brown shade. And I like the results that I get from using just a flat definer brush with a matte brown shadow. Today, the palette that we're going to be using on our eyes is going to be this. It's the CoverGirl True Naked Goldens palette. You can get this at any drugstore or a Walmart or a Target. And we're going to start off using this this third color right here. And we're just going to put it in our crease area. And our lid. Again, what I'm using to put this on is the Wet n Wild crease brush. They're 99 cents. I swear by these brushes. You will hear me talk about them probably in every video because I love them. I think they are really good brushes. And you can't beat that price. 99 cents. Oh. If more things could be 99 cents, that'd be great. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just take it all over. I decided to go ahead and make this our entire base. So next I'm going to grab a crease brush also. This is from Morphe. This came in a brush set that Morphe sells. If you go up to brushes and go down to brush sets, you'll find the one that this came out of, and I believe it's $49.99. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this dark brown color, and I'm basically going to put this in the outer V of my eye. This is not really easy for me. I just want to let you know. So if you are just starting out with makeup, I'm going to tell you this outer V, for some people it is either very easy or very tricky, kind of like wing liner, because sometimes you can tend to go a little too far out. So you can get some Scotch tape and just put a piece right here, or B, you can just let all that fallout happen where it does, and then have some Q-tips on hand and some eye makeup remover and be ready to clean that up. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go in using that 4th shade. It's this beautiful gold color that we have in the middle of the palette. And I'm going to start in the middle of my eyelid. Just go straight up and work it towards the center of my eye. You see that? It's this beautiful golden shimmery shadow. To me, this is a really great daytime smoky look, but it's still very soft and feminine because this takes up most of it. You just have it smoked out on the end. We're gonna go back in with our blending brush and we're just gonna kind of blend over it because we want our colors to blend together. We don't want them all separated. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get another flat shader brush. This is one by e.l.f. So you can see that. And I'm gonna go with this bone kind of color. And I'm gonna go underneath my brow bone, just like that. To me, when you put on that color underneath your brow bone, it just kind of opens up your eyes a little bit. I'm just gonna go back in. I haven't added any more product every time I go in. I just go back in with the same brush and whatever's left and just kind of drag it in. Because we don't want the smokiness that's on the end to go away. And now I'm gonna go back in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1. And I use this in number 5. Like my last video, I used 3/4 of a pump. That is all I use. And I'm gonna go in with this out of this house with no eyeliner. It would be embarrassing. People would stare, not for good reasons, and we don't want that. Oh, the eyeliner that I'm using is the Wet n Wild H2O proof liner in black. Okay, don't think I'm gonna do any wing today. I might change my mind later, but for now, I think not. Today is definitely a false lash kind of day. So these are my favorite lashes of all time. They are the Demi Wispies by Ardell, and maybe it's just me, but when I see these in a 4-pack as opposed to just an individual, I think they look fuller. I've like put them side by side and I have no idea. I think they add a little something extra to the 4-pack. Plus it's more economical, which I'm always about that. Now these particular lashes, you can use them several times, but I do recommend that after you use them, well, I didn't let it get tacky, and that was actually something that a friend of mine years ago told me when I first started using lashes. Wait for it to get tacky so that when you actually try to put it on, it will adhere to your lash line better, and it'll be easier to place. So, and another thing that helps me is that I always get a mirror. I just have this, like, let me see that. It's like a little handheld mirror. You could, it was $12.99, TJ Maxx, via Maxxinista. But I always look down into the mirror because that helps me get closer to my lash line. There's some people that will put on a coat of mascara first. I don't do that at the beginning because then my lashes get in the way of me putting on the false lash, and I can't get it very close to my lash line because my natural lashes are already lifted. So I always wait until afterwards, and the only purpose for putting on the coat of mascara is so that they'll blend together and it just looks more natural. I use the other end of my tweezers and do that. So I don't know if you can tell just looking into it, but this is the one that has the false lash, and of course this one does not. So they look very natural. Like, that's the one thing that I love about these. I don't want to go out during the day with too much of a dramatic lash. Oh, and the reason that I get the pink glue is because it dries dark. I have tried to use the blue it's a white and blue by Duo, and supposedly it dries clear. It looks white on me. Maybe it's just because my hair is so, my eyelashes are so dark. Maybe if you had red hair or blonde hair, it wouldn't make that big of a difference, but on me you can totally tell it just doesn't look good. So there we go. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just get a coat of mascara on them. There are so many times I just forget, but I don't have my mascara of choice here right now, so I'm going to use this one. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic in Carbon Black. It has a very thin wand. I don't know if you can see that, but I just do a couple of strokes on the bottom. That's it. So now I still have the foundation. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm just going to blend it all in. I've noticed when I am looking at the footage afterwards, I think, gosh, you really look like you're hurting yourself when you put on your foundation, but I'm really not. Next, I'm going to use my Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Concealer. I use this in medium, and this is a really awesome concealer. If you are looking for a good concealer, this is very full coverage, and if you have acne scarring or sun damage like I do, it's a really good full coverage concealer, and it doesn't feel super thick like a lot of them do that tend to cover really well. I always put, I don't really need concealer everywhere I put it. Mainly I just need it right in here because this is where I have the sun damage. And now I have some spotting on my face, but it doesn't look good to just have it super bright right here and nowhere else. So you usually want to spread out that color a little bit. So that's what I do. Next, I'm going to go in with my Airspun translucent powder and my e.l.f. contouring brush that has that flat end, and we're going to bake underneath the eyes. You don't necessarily have to bake. You can just get a different, like a powder brush, and just use it to set, but my skin looks a lot more flawless if I bake. You do you. If you don't like to bake, then don't. But I also use it to kind of set me up for my contour. And I go all the way up that line. That way when I'm putting on my contour, I don't go too far. And I do put it where I put all that concealer, just to make sure and set it so that I don't have creasing, because I tend to make lots of facial expressions. You will learn that about me if you haven't yet. I don't mean to, I don't really do it on purpose. I think it's just genetic. My mom, if you really get to know my mom, first of all, she's not like me. She is very much a quiet person and doesn't tend to let her hair down in front of others, shall we say. But I am not that way. I let my hair down everywhere. And I make a lot of facial expressions. I just do, but I definitely get that from my mom. So next I'm going to use a Morphe flat definer brush, and I'm going to go back into that golden palette, and I am going to just dab on that brown and do the lower lash line, because I always forget to do this because I have actually recently, let me see if I can do this so that you don't see too much of the mirror, but I have actually just recently started to do the lower lash line. I never used to, but I do think that you just look a little bit more put together if you do, or if I do, shall I say. You could just watch this video because you want to watch this video and not need any makeup, and if that is you, thank you for joining me, and hats off to you, but this girl needs some makeup. If I did not have these sunspots, because I didn't use sunblock, girls use sunblock, I would probably not go out with much makeup, if any. I think I could feel very comfortable going out with no makeup. However, I have sunspots because I didn't take good care of my skin like I was supposed to. Learn from my mistakes. If nothing else, come here, watch my channel, and learn from my mistakes. Today we're going to use a Milani powder blush, and we're going to be using it in Tea Rose. So it looks like that, and I'm going to be using a Wet n Wild blush brush. Let me see that. A few dabs. I always put my blush on the apples of my cheeks because that's where you would naturally be rosy. I don't know what is up with me today. I'm doing everything out of order. I forgot to contour, so I contour using this. This is my tried and true for contour, and I'm going to use the NARS Eat a Brush, and I'm going to be using the color Subconscious. Ooh. Contour, contour, contour. I love my contour. The powder, not me. The powder. It's just a really good color because it has a lot more of a gray, so I don't look so orange like a lot of contours tend to look. And now I'm going to use that Shade and Light brush. It doesn't come with it, but you can opt to get it. And I just use this one to kind of spread it out better than the Eat a Brush. I start off with the Eat a Brush, but I always go into it afterwards using that one. Okay, so since I did that out of order, I'm gonna put a little bit more blush over top. I'm going to do my highlight so that my highlight can be on fleek, and I'm going to use the Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Glow palette. Now, even though you can't get this palette anymore, you can still get these colors that I'm going to use. So I'm going to always go in with Opal, and then I go Champagne Pop on top. And I'm going to be using this Luxie 522 tapered highlight brush. Looks like that. Now, I actually got this in an Ipsy bag, and I love this brush. This is probably my favorite item I have ever gotten in an Ipsy bag. Ipsy, for those of you that don't know what Ipsy is, it is a monthly subscription package, and it is $10 a month, and you can you just get different products in there. I've gotten ColourPop products, I've gotten Smashbox. Recently I got a Meet Matt Hughes little individual shadow. Okay, I would show it to you, but I don't know where it is. So, but it was just a little individual shadow, so I have never had use for a Z palette because I don't buy individual shadows. However, I am going to be buying one soon because I guess the time has come for me to actually need one. So, all right. So there's that. I am now going to just take a Wet n Wild powder brush and wipe away the baggage. And as you know, I always spread out everything that's left so that it can kind of blend together. Last, we are going to do a color on my lips. Here lately, I've been using pink and rosy lips. I never use pink and rosy lips, but I guess it's time for a change. So I am going to line my lips using the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Frida. This is one of my first ColourPop products and I really like it. Next, I'm going to go in with a soft matte lip cream in NYX, or by the brand NYX, in number 8. It's called San Pablo. This is going to be pretty pink, I think, so brace yourself. I told you. Alrighty, so there you have it. I am going to just coat my lower lashes because when I put on false lashes, there's so many times that on the daily I don't put on lower lash mascara because I'm just in a hurry sometimes and forget. However, when I have on false lashes, I think it is very important to put it on. Alrighty, so there you have it. There's the finished product, and the last step that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set all of this with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Spray. Alright guys, there's our finished look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed my video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for coming back, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.